Joe Jonas himself with the Waffle House song. I wish they would have sung more about the Waffle House and what they have. They didn't even mention the All Star breakfast that they offer. They pretty much just said, "Oh, we get in fights and then have late night conversations at the Waffle House." There's so much more to a Waffle House there. Didn't mention anything about the people working there. Didn't mention anything about potential fights that happen, the All Star breakfast, anything like that. Hello, welcome to the Pretty Huge Dilemma podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Barrett. Today, Christmas break's coming to an end. It's been pretty relaxing here since Christmas. Not too much going on, not too much happening in my life. Just hanging out, relaxing until finally gonna have to go back to work on Monday. I was gonna say not looking forward to it, but if I didn't have that, I don't think I could handle going around the house all day, not having things to do. I know once the new year starts back to work, there'll be more things to do, things happening, places to be, but just hanging around my house, not doing anything because people are getting back from traveling. They're not wanting to do much, so not really asking them to go and hang out. Yeah, try and fix my hair. It's pretty far away, and oh well. So they're getting back from traveling, so I'm not really trying to hang out with them because they're getting tired. They're getting things put back together in their house. They're preparing for their work week, but it happens. And I keep looking down my computer screen and back up at the actual phone recording device because in the kitchen again, but as you can see, all by myself this week. Last week wasn't sure what I was going to get into with my wife being here. Didn't really prep her for anything. Didn't say we're going to talk about these topics. Prepare your answers for this. It kind of just went wherever it went, and tried to make it a little bit more about her interest rather than mine because I can do this every week. Well, I have been doing it every week. Gonna try to keep that up in this new year. One of my New Year's resolutions, which while I was making my resolutions, it kind of just turned into making sure the microphone's right, using a different microphone for whatever reason. But my resolutions, some of it just turned into things on my to-do list rather than real goals of things to do. Some of it was go to the doctor for this, get this done around the house, do this thing at the car, do this thing at work. It wasn't really complete overhaul changes of what I want to do. It wasn't completely I want to have a resolution to change my life in this way, so that goes in this trajectory. So this other one, it was kind of, all right, I'm on this trajectory. Let's bring in these other things to the sides. I didn't make a resolution to read more or have a certain reading goal for it because I think that might make it less enjoyable to read. You might be sitting there thinking, I have to do this reading, I have to read this book, I made this resolution, rather than just going through and enjoying the reading process. As for reading, it can be hard to make a goal because if you make a goal to read a certain number of books, then that might have an influence on which books you choose rather than books you actually want to read. Because if I make a resolution to read 20 books, I'm not going to read 20 Aragon length books that are 500 plus pages. I might read one longer of those books and then smaller ones that I can read through faster rather than actual books that might be more difficult to read, take more time to understand, slower process to go through. That's why I didn't make a resolution for that. Resolutions I did make or just goals I wanted to have. Let's see, how vulnerable do I want to get on this podcast? Well, who cares? What's the worst that could happen? One of them was to make more connections with other people because I can be introverted at times and just relaxed in my own area. And now that I have a house, I feel more accomplished doing things just in my house of, oh, I went to the living room. Oh, I moved to the kitchen. Then I went to my office. Then I went to the living room. I was in four completely different rooms today. Rather than if I was just in an apartment, it would just be all kind of in one room. So being in a house, I don't know, even during this past break, if I'm by myself, it's been watching Netflix, been watching You, started watching I think the fifth season on that. That's based on books. I'm not sure I'll read the books. Been watching that, and the entire time kind of seemed frustrated at Joe on there, thinking you have not had, but like you had relationships with all these women. All of them seemed fine. Currently, you're married to a billionaire who seems like she's somewhat of a decent person, but who knows? She'll probably end up killing someone. That could be the case. That's who he's attracted to. And then he goes and messes that up to be with someone else just because he misses a little bit of attention. Crazy. So watching that and watching The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, which for that one also get frustrated at because I think they make the characters that way of, oh, just do this simple thing. Just go to work. Just stop interacting with this person. And your life can turn all around and you'll be on the right path for it. So that one's also a little bit older. I didn't realize, well, I probably should have known this, but sometimes the same actors or actresses come back into series as different characters. Because I realized how with Tina Fey in The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt is first she came back as a lawyer and she looked one way, and now she's coming back as a psychiatrist doing a different thing. And I thought to myself, how can you have the same actress in a different role? She was already cast as this person. You can't have them as a different thing. But yeah, I forget they can do that. Maybe they don't think highly of their audience. They might not think their audience would notice that happening. And as I'm watching those things and kind of falling asleep on the couch, try not to do that, but sometimes it happens. But in the meantime, playing that, did break out the Xbox 360 rather than just the backyard sports games because I don't want to get I don't want to get extra practice in the backyard sports games because then I might stop losing PhD TV. I don't want to have extra practice for. I want all of that to be recorded. But I did break out the Xbox 360. Started playing Star Wars Battlefront 2. That came out, the one that came out on the original Xbox. Which trying to look that up, there's like a different Star Wars Battlefront 2. That's a more recent one. I guess they reused the name for it. Then I knew that, but it makes it difficult to look it up online and see what the popularity of it is. Who knows? Maybe I'll stream that one day. Which that one might take a little bit longer because, well, I don't know. This one, I don't know the length of it. I think the current one will last 18 something weeks because I think that's what the schedule is. But for Battlefront 2, yeah, the difficulty, I definitely lose during it. I don't win every single round of it. That happens. And for that, it might be a little bit harder too because it's not a set amount of time like the backyard basketball games. I know, okay, this quarter's 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes. Okay, so it'll be that amount of time, unless I go to overtime, which I don't even know if it has that. It might just make it a tie. But for Battlefront 2, it's okay, you go in this fight. I don't know how long that one would last. Okay, might be too short for a single episode, but too long. Then if I make another one, then it'll be too long for a single episode. Who knows? I started back up NCAA football 14. I just made a new coach on there. Started as the offensive coordinator of Memphis. I think I'm either 2-2 or 3-2 right now. But I don't take it too seriously because as an assistant coach, I'm just I'm gonna be at this role. I'm moving on in a year to a new college because I don't like staying at the same one for too long. Unless I get to the head coaching position, then I can build up the program to a higher level. But if I'm just the offensive coordinator, I'm not building this team. I'm jumping around, next opportunities, moving up. So I just don't do much recruiting during it because I was leaving anyway. So as the offense coordinator, don't trust me to stick around too long. But as those are going on, I don't know, been trying to sprinkle in some extra reading, finishing the Endure book. I did finish that one up before the new year, so I haven't officially finished a book yet in 2026. That one, it didn't have too much of a crazy ending. The guy pretty much just went through, oh, these are the things that impact your running, your heat, how much you eat, your hydration. Then there are other more outlandish things that people do. Sometimes they put electrodes in there, attach their head to fire some neuron or something in the brain. to work a certain way. Sometimes they trick the brain by just swishing around Gatorade in your mouth, not even drinking it, and that has enough change for it. Then he kind of wrapped it up. Well, it started at the beginning of the story of Nike trying to break a 2 hour marathon, which I don't know if that's been broken yet. It might have been because the book's a number of years old and they were only like 25 seconds away from it. But it kind of just ended. Who knows if these things work or not? There are people just trying to research different things, trying to make better shoes, stuff like that. But in the end, who knows? It might all just be mental. So it wasn't too much of a learned book. I did, I don't know, I wouldn't say I applied something to it, but went on a run today. Yeah, knee wasn't feeling the best as a result of yesterday's workout. Not really sure what made it feel worse. It hasn't been feeling the best for a little over a year since before like I started training for a marathon last year. But haven't gone to a doctor for it, just watching videos on Instagram for knee exercises and looking up medical stuff on chat GPT and seeing if that has any change for it. But it might all be mental, so gotta build my mental strength up that way. Went for a run. Usually I have it timed out of either a distance or a time, something going on there. But for this one, I thought to myself, I don't have too much going on. When I go home, it's going to be eating, recording a podcast, cleaning, playing video games. So I don't really have too much responsibilities back home. Let me just run. Ran a new path, which is crazy how different you'll see the neighborhood and stores around you if you just go one block like north or south of a road you typically take. Because go, I don't know, one way we go, like say you want to go east. Which way? Yeah, you want to go east or west or north or south. Usually there's like a couple main like roads that run parallel to each other. So typically you take one or two of those. But if you just go one block north or south or east or west, whatever. I was gonna say if you just go one block north to go west instead of the routes you usually take, there are so many different stores and things that happen on that road that I had no idea were there. There's different grocery stores, different medical places, different restaurants, different workout places that I just didn't know was there. Went on that run, didn't really time myself for a pace, didn't want to, I don't know, shoot for a certain goal, just wanted to run. It was a nice day, not too breezy out. I thought to myself, why don't 5Ks and other races like that start later in the morning? The ones I've done, they start at 7 a.m., 8 a.m. Why can't they start at 10 or 11? I get if they're in the summer, it could be a little bit hotter. But if you're having one between October and April, why not start it later in the day? It's nice out. You don't have to make yourself eat at breakfast. Some people aren't hungry at breakfast. Because when I've done these races, I've had to eat a full meal, drink all the electrolytes, coffee, things like that, and then drive to the event. But this morning I was able to wake up, read, eat breakfast, relax, edit the podcast that I put out, then relaxingly went out to run. Okay, everything's digested, had this morning energy, not super tired from the night before. Why can't races do this? Okay, there might be some difficulties of we got to shut down roads for the middle of the day instead of earlier in the day. Okay, a lot of times you run on sidewalks and trails anyway, and it's not shutting down too much. So why can't we just have them later in the day? Now I went out to run. The only downside of it was I did always have in the back of my head, okay, I have to turn around at some point. So I can't push to my extreme limits. At some point, I have to turn around. Which in the book Endure, there were a couple people who went to Antarctica, which I don't even know if you can do this. I don't know what regulations you have to get signed off, if you have to get all the different continents or countries who are involved in Antarctica to sign off on you doing an expedition there. These people, some of them would go to the South Pole and then travel back. Some of them would just go to the South Pole and then get picked up. That's something that I might do later, is just a one-way expedition of, okay, I don't have to worry about turning around and making my way back. I'm just going to go, and when I get out of energy, lost, I'll just call my wife and have her pick me up, or someone else come pick me up. That'd be interesting to do at some point because if you do a race, it's all right, you have this set path, you have to go this way, start here, finish here. That's it. But if I was going on a path to start running, I don't know how long it would be, what the distance would be, but it'd be interesting to see. It wouldn't be a forced thing or have in the back of my mind, okay, I'm kind of tired now, let me turn around. Because today when I got done with the run, I thought, okay, that was pretty difficult. If I had to, maybe I could have gone farther. I don't know if I would have gone double the distance or if I would have given up before. Because it's also running back, you have in the back of your mind, oh, I'm this far done for my goal. Let me push more and more. It would be an interesting thing to do. I don't know if I would call it an experiment because I'm not tracking things too closely. It's pretty much distance, time. I don't measure my heart rate, pace. I guess so. My pace, I'm not breaking any land speed records here, so that doesn't have too much impact on me. And it would just be for myself. Went out, I think it just ended up being 8 miles. I think I did it in 75 minutes. I think that's how long it was, so I didn't look at it too close. I think that was a 9:30 pace, but again, injured knee, no real thing pushing me to go a certain time or distance, just out there enjoying the day. Listening to the pre-made Spotify playlist of, I think today was Sunny Day Run playlist. Not too many songs on there that I typically listen to. Some of them, like I said, they pick my past history, but also new ones like the Jonas. I don't know if it's Jonas Brothers or Joe Jonas himself with the Waffle House song. They don't sing. I wish they would have sung more about the Waffle House and what they have. They didn't even mention the All Star breakfast that they offer. They pretty much just said, "Oh, we get in fights and then have late night conversations at the Waffle House." There's so much more to a Waffle House there. Didn't mention anything about the people working there. Didn't mention anything about potential fights that happen, the All Star breakfast, anything like that. Like, what gives? Like you've never been to Waffle House and you just title this song to get people from the South on your side. Maybe they're going to do a tour through south of the Mason-Dixon line. Just go through there. That could be the case. Speaking of south of the Mason-Dixon line, I was talking about books I was reading. I started reading the Nate Bargatze book, The Big Dumb Eyes, which I didn't know that was the name of his book. I didn't know he had a book until about a couple months ago. And the name of the book is the same as the name of the tour that he's on. Makes sense having that cohesiveness between different areas and things he's trying to promote. But it's kind of book you would expect from Nate Bargatze to write. It's kind of a just bunch of stories, different times in his childhood, and he wrote it this a similar way Tom Segura wrote his. I think, yeah, it's a similar thing. It's just a bunch of stories about different times in his life. Of oh, you don't have to read it straight through. You could just read different chapters at a time. Which I don't know if I would ever do that in a book of not reading the whole thing. Well, not reading the whole thing straight through the first time I read a book. Now, if I know a book has information, okay, I'll just read that chapter of it. But I know like the whole path of it. This is my first time of thinking, I'll start in chapter 13 and see what I can pull out of there. Now I was reading it straight through. This book's just a collection of stories, funny things, and it's written in his voice. So it's kind of funny to see that. More of a comedy book, and I found myself laughing while reading a book. That's not something that typically happens. Usually, if something's funny, I like chuckle myself, but this, I found myself actually laughing during it. I don't know, it might have happened while I was reading Tom's book. Now I might have to start a list of comedian books and how they're going and rate them about what I think. Because Tom Segura has a book, Nate Bargatze has a book, Louis J. Gomez is releasing his book. I'll probably read that at some point. Those are all biographies. Sam Talent, he's written a book, and he's in the middle of writing his second book, I think. But that's kind of different because that's not a biography about his life. That's just a regular fiction book. We're reading that. Okay, I think I was on New Year's resolutions, and I talked about reading and what we're doing here. Oh, making connections with other people. Yeah, I'm going to try to do that more. I don't know. I've just coming with ideas, and I might have bitten off more than I could chew, suggested things more than what my wife thought. I also threw out there, hey, why don't we host people at our house? We have this house. We don't have too many places for people to sit, so we'll have to fix that up before we have people come over. But we could have people hang out here. I don't know what they would do. We have some board games, which I guess that's what. Am I middle aged? Not middle aged, but people in their 20s and 30s. I guess that's what they do. They come over to play board games. I didn't know how big of a thing that was, but people do it. I know card games pick up those pretty quickly. Board games, it depends. I don't have. I would say I get exposed to a high amount of board games because I don't know, you just have to be willing to go and learn about that community. There are different board game conventions I think they have in this area, but I haven't gone out to them. I don't know if that's the area I want to get involved with yet. There are other areas and interests I have that I'm more interested in expanding rather than trying out new ones. I said, hey, maybe we could invite people over here, host people. We'll see if that happens because hosting also kind of means having food available. And as you heard on the last episode, that we're still tinkering with and things don't turn out the best. But we might just end up getting things catered instead of cooking all of it ourselves. Or we just might get the main dish, piece of meat, and do the side dishes ourselves. That could be the case because, yeah, if you don't get that main dish set up, then that kind of sets the tone for the rest of it. And it would be a lot of pressure and I haven't had the practice to do all of that yet. But we'll see if that happens. Anything else about there? Oh, and the connection people trying to plan out a group trip for people. That might be too much pressure that I don't know if I'm ready to handle or not. Because if I'm being the person setting it up, then I got to figure out who's going. Okay, who's going to get along with each other? This group of people I know from this area, these people I know from church, these people I know just from life and other activities. These people are people I've grown up with from home, friends like that. Would they all mix together, or do I have to go keep them separated but equal and say I'll go this area with this group of friends? Oh, this area is kind of more active, they'll do this. This area is kind of more in sports, we'll do this kind of activity. It's a lot of pressure saying all that up, and then getting all people in that group to agree. So you got to figure out the size of it, which at first it's okay, I have this idea. What do you guys think? And getting all their feedback. But at some point, it'll come to, well, you're going to have to trust that I'm going to pick something that everyone in this group will like and not have it be a crazy price at the end of it, which yeah, it takes some trust to do that, but I think I could do it. I could get something together with ChatGPT, enough of events that I don't know. I think at least the majority of people would be. But in the end, it comes out to being let's just spend time with each other at this event that with people I don't typically see or hang out with, or it's in a different environment. I don't know if they'll be going to Europe, because that's enough issues on its own just getting to Europe with one other person, let alone a whole group of people. But then again, that might be safer or easier if you had a group of people going together. Maybe safer, I don't know, easier. Getting the logistics of all of it and getting everyone to say, oh, I want to go to this thing and not be upset that they missed out on doing something else. Who knows? But that could be something that turns to resolution, grow connections, things like that. Because, yeah, it can be difficult to grow connection, especially outside of work where you spend so much time at work with people and having time and energy to do it without people, without even having kids in the mix. Having a kid in the mix, I don't know how those people make friends or spend time with others because you just you go to work, work out, maybe you stop working out, and then take care of the kid. And even two people, yeah, that's still difficult to do. If both of you are working, if one's a stay-at-home parent, yeah, that makes it somewhat easier. But even that person's doing a bunch of things, running around, doctor's appointments, and it's kind of set on that kid's schedule for it. Okay, man, just rip through all those. Um, did I make any other New Year's resolutions? Fitness ones, I wanted to try different gyms in the area. Just try some local ones, other chains in the area. Because the one we go to, it's fine. Able to work out there. See some people regularly, but I don't really know their names, don't know their backgrounds, not going to hang out with them outside the gym. Maybe I'm looking for more of a community at the gym because I'm going to be going to the gym. I'm going to be working out this so many days a week. It'd be nice to see some of the people there, maybe have some conversations, not during the workouts. Still, when I'm at the gym, I'm there to work out. That's it. Don't need to have side conversations in between sets because I need to get this workout in. But I think going to an area and recognizing some people having conversations before or after, possibly having someone to work out with. We'll see. Find someone to work out with, that would be difficult to do because sometimes I see an exercise on Instagram or a workout on Instagram, and I think to myself, oh, let me try this out. Let me incorporate this. And if there's someone else, they might not be as interested in doing that as I am, which, yeah, I don't blame them for that being the case. And they might find something on Instagram that I don't typically want to do. And when I looked in the area of gyms that do that, it's mainly CrossFit type gyms, which CrossFit gyms, yeah, those are okay. I'm they build muscle strength in the way they do things. I don't think I typically want to do CrossFit. I've done some of the CrossFit stuff. I've never been to an official class for it. But some of the workouts that I found online, I try to do the Murph workout once or twice a year. I forget what day it's supposed to be on. I don't know if is it supposed to be on Memorial Day, fourth of I think it's Memorial Day. I was trying to think if it's Memorial Day, 4th of July, Veterans Day. I think it's Memorial Day that they do it on. But I try to do that at least once a year. It's maybe not always on the 4th of July, but I've done it a couple times, and I know that's a CrossFit thing. But I don't think hang cleaning, snatch, hang clean, a push press, deadlifting. I don't know if I really want to get involved in that, but I do enjoy the community part of it. I thought one of the gifts I did think about buying for some of my family was a ticket to compete in a Hydrox event. That'd be kind of funny to throw someone into that. Similar to the turkey trots, where if you have people come over, you sign them up for a turkey trot, or Hydrox, where it's, oh, I bought you this thing to compete in a Hydrox. Kind of sucks, kind of have to train for it, but it'd be funny to do. Then I saw that Hydrox is also is expanding instead of just having workout competitions that people do. They're expanding to cruises. I don't know. They said they're trying to expand into fitness travel. Is that what they called it? They called it fitness something. They're trying to expand into. So they're trying to have cruises. They're trying to have resort getaways, and they're trying to have just like camps that people can go to. And I thought that would be cool to go to, but then when I looked at the prices and talked with people who have gone on cruises, know prices better than I do, they said that the cruise price for that was like double or triple what it would be just going on a regular cruise, which I would expect some upcharge for it. Going on Hydrox cruise, I wonder what changes they would make for Hydrox. I probably have to have some more sophisticated laundry service because there'd be more people working out, more people possibly wanting to wash clothes or bring more clothes. Would they change anything with the food? Would they make things higher protein, less saturated fats, less desserts, less empty, quote unquote, empty carbohydrates, whatever that means? Probably means not having a carb to fiber ratio of 6 to 1. Maybe they make better foods for that. Do they cut out the drinking program entirely? Do they say, hey, this is a fitness cruise. You're not going to be working out and getting drunk here? Because they also don't want people working out while being drunk. That's definitely not safe. Working out after being hungover, that's not safe. Maybe they incorporate saunas and cold plunges there. If people are going in saunas after drinking alcohol, that's not safe, at least according to the warning signs that I read on the wall in the sauna. Says well, does say if you're hungover, don't come in. But say if you're under the influence of alcohol, I say a hangover's influenced by alcohol. So they gotta change that as well for the drinking packages they offer. I don't know if that's the case. Could be. What other things they could change? I don't know how cruises are typically laid out, or if they would be able to withstand the extra amount of weight and free weights that are brought on the cruise. Because if you're having workout classes, okay, you gotta bring medicine balls, kettlebells. Are you gonna have any squat racks? You're gonna have dumbbell sets? Because that's extra weight on the cruise. You'd say, oh, our people are gonna be fit more in shape than typical cruise goers, so having if typical cruise weight is this much, say, okay, our guests are going to be this weight amount, plus the equipment will be right at the same amount. So maybe they would be safe in that area, not worried about bringing the extra weight on the cruise ship. But they might have to change the layout of the cruise ship. Are they going to incorporate swimming type events in those exercises? Because I don't think the typical Hydrox events include water in any way. So maybe they got to change that. And how are they going to incorporate the water slide into these events? Is it going to be going down the fastest? How can you get an exercise in while going down this water slide? It gets your heart rate up some of the time. Yeah, I think it gets your heart rate up. Which playing video games, sometimes that gets my heart rate up, which makes me think maybe I shouldn't be playing these games as much because I don't want this elevated heart rate right now, this extra cortisol going on. But how's Hydrox going to incorporate that into the cruise? How are they going to incorporate the swim up bar into their events? A lot of opportunities, a lot of things for them to think through. And I think Hydrox is bigger in Europe because looking at these events, there's a bunch going on in Europe. The cruise is going out of Europe, so that'd be a lot going on there. All right, what time am I at? Okay, let's see here. See here, talked about that. Talked about that. Skipping that. Probably skipping that. Done with that. Done with that. Yes, this is the exciting part of the time where I go through my notes because something didn't flow after the Hydrox event. Others New Year's resolutions. And I got vamp. I don't know what vamp means. This vamp. I know synonyms. Synonyms just like fill time, find something to say during it, but nothing else really happening. All right, New Year's. Since we're talking about New Year's resolutions, New Year's just went to hung out at Buffalo Wild Wings with a friend, building connection, going out of my way to do that because wife she went out with her friends. I could easily, oh man, still kind of dream of it. Have a nice night in, video games, Netflix, which I gotta cancel the Netflix because we're done with it. Did a month, watched football games, watched enough Christmas shows on it, done. Which we rented Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer for Christmas. That was a $10 rental. Did not know that. Thankfully, we delayed some of our packages and had $6 in promotional credits. Man, it was above that. We didn't even know it was that much, but I guess we bought it so we can watch it again next year for no fee. Oh well. What was I going to talk about? Okay, so we just went Buffalo Wild Wings, which I didn't know. I don't know if. Yep. I don't know if it's always been this way, but man, does Buffalo Wild Wings have a limited menu. I thought it would be kind of more expanded, more options in there, but man, it is set. They say, hey, we do chicken. If you want something, you're getting chicken. I kind of forgot, didn't realize that until I went there on New Year's Eve. Yeah, it was New Year's Eve. Watched Miami beat Ohio State. New Year's Eve there, because I was looking through the menu beforehand, which I know I've been in Buffalo Wild Wings. I know they got wings, but I thought, okay, maybe I'll try something else out here, see what they got. I looked through. Oh, we got traditional wings. We got boneless wings. We got grilled wings, which I got grilled tenders. They didn't taste grilled at all. They just kind of tasted oven baked. They didn't have. I don't even think they had grill marks on them. So that was kind of disappointing. But I wasn't expecting too much. Said we got wings. We got some burgers, which okay. That's a little extra, but everything else, chicken. You want a salad? Oh, you want to add a protein to it? We got chicken. You want a wrap or a quesadilla? Cool. You want to add protein to it? We got chicken. Yeah, I got a variety of appetizers, different deep fried things. I thought to myself, they don't have much else besides chicken offered at this place. Makes sense. But I thought to myself, okay, steakhouses, seafood places, they at least have like one off things, some sort of fish, at least one salmon option, some sort of Asian cuisine option, some sort of Asian bowl. Buffalo Wild Wings, nope, we got wings. Come here, that's what you're getting. Other New Year's resolutions, I think that's about it. The last thing I'll end on is, I don't know, trying. So I have been getting into coffee more. Yes, a long enough episode. I'm getting into coffee more, how to make it before just putting loose grounds into a mason jar, filtering that out. I was myself, mason jar kind of difficult to pour out of, hard to control. Sometimes I don't commit to the pour enough, which I learned about that in a chemistry class where you just gotta commit to it or else it sticks to the side of it. So I gotta commit to it, but then it can only go so fast, so that way it doesn't overflow the filter, and the filter has to go at a certain pace. Okay, we got an ovalware cold brew glass thing where it has a center stainless steel cylinder. They put the grounds in, which I'm still just using coffee grounds that are finely coursed that you get in the bag. I haven't started grinding them myself yet, which at some point we'll get to that. And I haven't gotten the cold brew specific ones that are coarser. So yeah, some grounds still get through, but I think even when I do grind my own or get the coarser grounds, I'll still filter it out, get those oils out, like Rhonda Patrick suggests, because hey, I do want my LDL cholesterol to be low. So I'll do that. So I got that, put the grounds in there. They soak for, I don't know, 16. Mine's closer to 24 hours for it. But trying to find the ratio of what to get for cold brewing, I don't know what that is. I just put in a number of coffee grounds. I look up ChatGPT, some recipes online, click through those ads, and I try to figure out what the coffee concentration is. Pretty difficult to find out. I think what I found, correct me if I'm wrong, sure, why not? DM me, comment. Is if I put a typical cup of hot drip coffee, 10 grams of coffee grounds, and that's hot. And I guess using hot water, you get more of an extraction of caffeine from the coffee grounds. And we don't have one of the gooseneck heated kettles yet, which that's on the list. Improving the coffee setup here slowly, gradually, getting more things added to it. We don't have a gooseneck thing that has heated water in it yet. So for cold brew, you get less extraction from it. But I've been using about 22 grams, which figuring out the units people use. Some people use cups, teaspoons, grams, fluid ounces. I still don't know how many fluid ounces are in a cup of coffee. Is it 6? Is it 8? Who knows? Not me. I've been using about, when I've been putting them loosely in the mason jar, it's been 22 grams per morning coffee. I don't even want to say cup of coffee because I don't know if that's 100% right. But it's been that, and online it's like, oh, if you were making cold brew, if you want concentrate, it's 1 to 4. Okay, what if I want ready to drink? Oh, then it's 1 to 8. Well, I don't know what I want because evidently concentrate you're not supposed to drink straight. I don't know. What if I just want the concentrate of it? Then it says you can add milk, not any milk. I don't want dairy with my coffee to negate some of the positive effects that Rhonda Patrick says dairy does. So they said you can water it down with water. Well, I don't know what exactly this is supposed to taste like. I don't know. So what I have right now is I think I put 66 grams, 65, 67, somewhere around there. My cold brew, and I'll just take the amount, which I guess I have to measure how much is coming out of this thing in grams of how much I'm getting from this cold brew. I was going to have to divide that into three and have that over 3 equally spaced days, which that's kind of difficult because I would like it where I don't have to do it different days all the time, and I can just have it, okay, on Sundays, on Thursdays, I make this cold brew, not sometimes Sunday, Wednesday, okay, now Saturday, Tuesday, because that just gets confusing. Not as much of a ritual to have it the same time or times every week. So that led me to wanting to have some sort of coffee class, which, hey, looked online. There's a couple of coffee places, but they have different things they teach: espresso, latte art, things like that. We'll see which one I end up going to learn more about coffee, learn about ratios, caffeine amounts, and how to make that the best, which, man, it's a lot to dig into. Everyone has their own ideas, way to do things. Look it up on chat, which who knows if that information is correct. I assume most of it is. It's not too crazy, outlandish, edge research, like edge of research. I think it's pretty well known, but there's a lot of different areas to have it. And again, I don't know exactly what this coffee is supposed to end up tasting like. Whenever I get cold brew from a coffee place, it tastes kind of fruity. Okay, when I drink mine, it doesn't. Maybe I'm not letting it cold brew long enough. Maybe I should have it out on the counter instead. I'm not 100% sure. So we'll see for that. When I take that coffee class, I'll let you know and I'll keep you updated for it. But I think that's the end. The topics I haven't talked about, maybe I'll talk about it later. Maybe I'll tweet them out. But at the end of the podcast, please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, DM, reach out some other way, and we'll get this thing. Because this is me, audience, us together. We'll get this thing going 2026. Thank you very much for listening. Talk to you later. Bye.